just in case people aren't aware that over the next few days the temperature is going to get really warm. It's going to peak at somewhere around 85. So you need to keep an eye on your plants, because if you've got them in greenhouses, it's going to be well over 100 degrees in there, and your plants will really suffer if you don't keep a check on them. So try and keep your greenhouse doors open, and if you've got windows at the top, keep those open as well, because if they get to a certain point of heat exhaustion, they won't recover. So having said that, I better go and check my greenhouses, because today it's 75, which is 10 degrees less than predicted over the next few days, but it already feels really hot. Let's go take a look. Well, this potato plant is outside and it's already showing signs of stress because it's getting too warm, so we better water that. Any plants that you've got in containers, definitely keep your eye on those. They're going to be the first things that will dry out. These at the moment look okay. And so do these. This plant, on the other hand, is looking a little bit worse for wear already. It's starting to wilt and go limp. That's because it's drying out too quickly. So this is in urgent need of water, and they're the first things that you need to be looking for. As soon as your plant does that, it's getting stressed, and it could start dropping flowers, which means no fruit. So give these a really deep watering, but make sure you water them from the bottom. Don't splash the leaves or they'll burn. And that's why we're always removing these lower branches, so we've got this clear space underneath for situations like this where you can really give it a good deep watering during these hot periods. And before you actually water your plants, spray the hose, let it run, because that water is hot. This hose pipe sat in the sun all day, so you could end up spraying your plants with red hot water. So make sure you run this for a minute or so until it runs cold before aiming it at your plants, or you'll burn the roots. That's how long it took before it ran cold, so keep a check on that. And then give this plant a really deep watering. It's going to need it through the day, especially since next week it's going to be another 10 degrees hotter than it is today. The plants in here don't look too bad, but we'll give them a bit of a watering anyway, from the bottom again. But this is where you're going to face your biggest challenge, things in containers, and especially lettuce, because in heat it wilts really quickly. So right in, give them a deep water. If you've got the space, you can move your plants out at sun and bottom water them in trays like this. But if you're going to be out at work all day and you're worried about watering, try using one of these. It's a watering globe. You just fill it with water and then you push it into the pot, and then that soil will take water as it needs it from here. I think I've got links in the description for these if you want to get any, because they're brilliant, especially for little containers like this or hanging baskets. Everything in this greenhouse looks okay. These pepper leaves are a bit low, drooping a little, but pepper plants actually like to dry out. So these aren't a massive concern. If they get any lower than this, make sure you just give them a quick water. Especially if, like this one, you've got fruit starting to grow on it. That's his first pepper of the year. Everything over here is going to be okay because it's a partial sun area, and that's why we put a lot of these plants up here, like hostas and ferns. They thrive in these conditions. So if you've got an area like this in your garden, move some of your containers up here just until it cools down. Big established plants like this that's in the ground should be okay. They've got a much bigger root system and they'll find moisture in that soil as well. So once again we go from one extreme to another. Rain, lots of wind, to temperatures approaching 85 over the next few days. But as long as you keep on top on it and keep checking, you're alright. Never water your plants over the top, especially in that heat, because you'll burn them. Give them a good deep watering around the base of that plant, and that'll be enough to last it the whole day. Wherever you can, move things out of the sun into the shade. And if you've got plants in small pots or containers, bottom water them, or use one of those watering globes that I've got, because then the worry of going to work wondering if your plants are going to be okay is taken away from you, so you can concentrate on getting that job done, getting home, and you know they'll be alright, because those globes can last a couple of days. And we don't want to spend all these months wishing for this weather to arrive, and then when it finally does, letting it destroy all the plants we've spent so long growing. So just keep on top of that watering, and then all your plants will be perfectly fine. And if you want to see what else we'll be doing over the weekend, then please just hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and we'll see you next time. Have a nice weekend.